Rosemary, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, great. Thank you.
I'm wondering if we can put on the live captions tonight. Because I have hearing loss in one ear. Marilyn does, John does.
Oh, John did it too?
Well, yeah.
I think he hears better than anybody.
The problem is if you don't, if the kids come up with that may not be.
And I found that.
Make something.
Feeding in. At a time. Yeah, that would be-
Karen, I think it's on, but do you want to double check here?
Well, the other thing too
Oh.
is they're picking up our voices
Yep, I guess.
and
Well,
it's not projecting.
on my computer.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, so maybe it's only on the other side that they can see?
Okay, yeah, I would just ask that people can speak up more louder than usual tonight,
Okay.
because this side of the room is, we both have hearing loss in our right ear. For some reason.
Totally.
So I have to turn my hearing aids down then.
Probably not.
And I have hearing loss and I have no hearing aids, more cool.
So, yeah, all right, so yeah, we want to speak up today. Oh, there it is. There it is.
You just announced it.
Thank you.
You never know, like if it's on a computer or if it's on the display. I'm being recorded now.
So that's, what time is it? Oh, it's 6:01. Okay, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm totally confused about how the charter changes are going to impact us.
I was actually just gonna ask, what did they finally settle on
Oh,
after the
I-
nights and nights
I'm
of
still
discussion?
If I may be so bold.
Speak
Well,
up.
wait, let me call the meeting to order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do need John
Oh,
and Kate to be moved up to voting members.
Isn't John a phone number bell
I
anyway?
thought John was
Yeah,
a full
he
member.
is.
One.
You are a voting member.
Yes.
Okay, Kate, we need to move you up to voting
Okay,
member.
but that's.
So then that means all 6 COA members who are are voting members.
Okay.
Okay, so I will call,
But what about Rosemary?
oh, Rosemary,
Well,
oh, there we
six is
go.
Rosemary.
But
She's a voting member.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so Rosemary, sorry about that, yes. So
Okay.
6, and so we have 7 of us. Okay, I call the November 19th COA Council on Aging meeting to order, Council on Aging. I'll take attendance. Rosemary,
present.
Kate,
Present.
Nancy,
Present.
Karen Janowski, present, Marilyn,
Present.
John, whoever didn't say present is not here. We don't have to run for their names, okay.
Okay, but he didn't get to me, so I'll say present.
John Parsons.
Yes,
Thank you. Present. Okay, so our agenda for this evening, we're going to approve minutes. We have a select board update from Karen Rose Gillis. Chris Kowalski is going to give us an Elder and Human Services report and the trust fund report and a funding request and vote if necessary. John Parsons and Chris are going to talk about their BH+A Boston visit. Nancy is going to provide a PBC update. Marilyn is going to give us some feedback about the Reading open house at the library, the orientation packet, that will be Marilyn and Chris. Recal draft document discussion, that will be Marilyn and Karen. Open discussion recal, open meeting law, that's Karen. I will facilitate the open discussion recal and the open meeting law, and then the future agenda items, and then we will adjourn. And I think I'm very happy with the way the the live captioning is going. So that's great.
It only took me many, many months.
But it's worth it. And I do also want to report back that the packet was posted to the website.
Oh, yay.
So, and it's a very easy thing for me to do. So I can always post the packet on the COA website.
That's-
I know, finally.
How many years did
Well,
that
I
take
finally
us?
made
No, it was just a question of reaching out to town hall, the town clerk's office,
I know.
and the person that answered the phone said, oh, just send it to, posting, ready posting, and that's all it took. So that was great. So our first item is to approve the minutes. I looked at them very last minute. I have to say, Nancy, I thought did an excellent job. This is an excellent format for us to use. And would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I move that we approve the excellent minutes by Nancy Zimmerman.
Is there a second?
Second it.
Thank you, Rosemary. Is there any, are there any changes to the,
Not that I see.
Wasn't the very last thing, something didn't seem right?
very last thing?
I don't have a copy of it in front of me.
I didn't.
Oh, it says meeting called to order.
I can't see.
Oh,
It was.
meeting called to order by Nancy Zimla.
Oh,
Needs to get deleted.
Yeah.
Yes. Meeting adjourned by unanimous vote. We just we just need to add in the time of that it was adjourned also.
is anybody?
No, but easy to see on, I can go back and look on, from the recording.
So.
What's interesting is it catches the ums,
Yes.
which
Oh,
most
okay.
most live
Oh.
captions do not.
Oh.
So it's really surprising, and even the dot, any hesitation that it's catching. So this is a different type of system, which is interesting.
Catching everything. Careful,
Hopefully-
careful about your thoughts,
Hopefully-
even if they don't come out.
All right, so all those,
You're gonna do it.
yeah, so I will do a roll call vote for the approving the attendance of the minutes. So John Krasinski,
Here.
Marilyn Shapley,
Yes.
Karen Janowski, yes, Nancy Zimla.
Yes.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Rosemary
Yes,
Benedetto, yes?
yes.
Okay, it passes unanimously 6-0. All right, select board update with Karen, Rose Gillis.
Okay, so, the biggest thing I think we did in the last month was to pass the commercial tax split rate. which Nobody's happy about taxes, but we came to an agreement and we're gonna move on. And we had, I can't remember what I said the last time I was here, but we had a retreat. Did I talk about the retreat?
No.
We had a retreat on a Saturday, which I thought went really, really well. There were 4 out of 5 of us there, and we had a great moderator who's a former town manager, he's been in politics since he's 22, and I think he's 70 years old now, so he was very good. And we got a lot accomplished as far as how we want the meetings to move forward in person. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has bad days or whatever, so the gentleman taught us some tricks on how to handle supposed to be reactive kind of pausing, which is always very good skill to learn, and I thought it was great. And so the town manager and Jane, they organized it, so I think we're supposed to have one once a year, and it was kind of delayed. But first it was gonna happen before the election and right after the election, and then I think we came to the consensus that it would be nice to have it like the first week in November every year, so whoever's newly elected, give them 6 months to kind of get their feet wet and see what's going on and figure out how things mesh. And if the moderator was fantastic, so he had been scheduled to do it when we had to change it. So we were lucky to get mentioned it last.
Oh, so I guess my question is, who is the mom?
I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. How do you like that? I'm having a moment. But he lives in Norfolk down that way. And but he used to be the town manager or something in Stoneham, so he's very familiar with the area as well. And he's very familiar with Reading and all the things that go on, which was very helpful, about our water and everything. He was very knowledgeable about it, so. I'm sorry, I wish I could remember his name. That's. And, I think that those are the most important things we've done in the last month. Unless anybody has any questions about it. Been town meeting the last couple of weeks, so our brains are a little fried. But,
I have a question.
Yeah.
The select board's liaison is Mark Doxer to, the permanent building committee on behalf of the retail project.
yes.
And I was just wondering if that was gonna be reassigned to someone else, or has that been discussed by the select? And if so, is Mark reporting back to the select?
I don't know the specific answer to that. I know it has come up, but not as part of the select board meeting. It could have come up a little bit as part of the meeting, as far as who is the person that goes to the meeting and reports back. I don't know who that is, because,
That would be interesting to find
yeah,
out.
I'll find out, because I know Karen Herrick had brought that up. It was
I
during
didn't
your,
realize, so Mark's on the building committee just as the liaison? Right.
Oh, I
And
didn't
initially
realize
from
that.
the select board, as I'm on the building committee from the. Agent.
so there's really not a current select board member who's on the actual liaison to it. So whether he's continuing,
It would just be nice to
Yeah.
hear
Yeah, that's
how the.
Some,
select board
sometimes the
wants to
select board
handle it.
continue appointing someone even that's not a representative,
yeah.
but then the expectation is you hope you would want to get the report
yeah, I
back.
know Jane is reporting back to us
That's
on
true.
things, so we do get information from her. But that's a good point.
But, yeah, that would be great to find out, Karen, thank you, great point, Nancy.
Good catch.
You're on roll. Excellent minutes and
Yeah,
good catch.
thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, Chris,
Yes.
Elder and Human Services report.
So we had a great October, as you can see. You can take a look down through there. Duplicated's on the left, unduplicated's on the right side of those numbers. Again, I say this every month. My goal is always 3,000 interactions. This month we were almost just under 3,300. So we really had a good month. It was a really busy month. So I want to say thank you to the staff. They're working hard. Anna's bringing in great programs. Carrie's working hard with Adopt a Family, and this is kind of Carrie's busy season with everything with the Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays. Janet's been doing great with volunteers. Linda's been doing great at the phone, and Joe's been doing great with transportation, so I can't thank the staff enough.
Yes, I was curious, and I thought about this last week when you said it. Is there a reason you picked 3,000 as your goal?
3,000 after everything, after looking at everything and up and going for a couple months. 3,000 is kind of just a sweet spot for the building and the staff and everything we have here. Now, sometimes it will be more.
Right.
Sometimes it'll be a little less, but it kind of tends to be a sweet spot that, I don't have to pull all the rest of my hair out. All jokes aside, but it just tended to work out that way, 3,000, and everything. I also base that off of, when I used to run the numbers in Somerville. I was seeing, for 10 years, I was kind of seeing how many total interactions we had through that fiscal year as well. So it just kind of ended up working out really well. But that's a good question. Thank you. But anyhow, go down through there. It's really good. Volunteers always, it's always nice to have the volunteers in with events. Takes quite a bit of pressure off the staff. So kudos to the volunteers. As you can see on the second page, we had a few wait list things. you know, we are lately, over the past month or two, we're just getting a lot of new people in and just a lot of people. Can't quite figure out exactly why. I mean, I'd like to think it's just because we're doing an amazing, awesome job and we have an amazing, awesome staff. And I think that is part of it, a good part of it. But we've been having a lot of new people come in. Lunch and learn, we had 28 on the wait list, Halloween lunch, 24 on the wait list. So for some of these events, they're filling up very quickly. And we're getting quite a few on the wait list. So that is fantastic. Even our bingo and lunch on Mondays, you know, a couple of years ago, I think when I first started, we were having like 20 some people, 20. And now we are solidly getting up like 50 for bingo and lunch. So, you know, it's, you know, kudos to the staff and everything. So we're really excited about that. Highlights for PSC. We're having a great October. We 28, you can kind of see some things under the highlights. November is pretty busy as well. We do have the Brad Jones Thanksgiving dinner coming up this Friday afternoon. So everyone's excited for that. The location has been changed for that. So it used to be at the Hillview Country Club over in North Reading, but they are closing down. So this year, for the first time, it'll be held over at Teresa's Prime in North Reading. So we were excited that Brad Jones is able to find a different venue and still host the event. Very popular right now. Unfortunately, we can only go to 175 people, and we are at 175 people with people on the wait list. But we unfortunately, because of the switch of the events, our venue, that's where we have to max out for. We could easily go to about 200, 250. It was a much larger an event center, but unfortunately, it's getting torn down soon.
But it's, how soon is it getting torn down? Because Sunday, the North Reading event is at Hillview.
Are they at Hillview or at Teresa's Prime? I think they're at Teresa's Prime as well.
Not according to the thing in North Reading.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
They're still open. I do know part of it was the cost, and that's why they moved at least us over to Teresa's Prime because it was cheaper. As far as I know, I thought North Reading was too, but I'm not 100% sure.
How many people are in the wait list?
I have to take a look. Quite a few, but I can look before the end of tonight for you.
Now, can I ask, if we hold an event like this, will we be able to hold 200, 250 people at the new recount?
I think if we held it in the gym.
Oh.
If we held it in the gym, it would be a possibility, yes. Not in our multi-purpose room,
Right, right.
and that was never supposed to be but the idea was the gymnasium could host a much larger event like this.
This isn't our event anyways, it's totally Brad Jones' event.
Yeah.
We've got to be careful as far as the political not being part of.
When you talk about holding events in a future gymnasium, then you need to have tables and chairs and storage for those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of logistics we'd have to figure out. You know, this does tend to be a larger event. You know, we've hosted things so keep in mind, I think a lot of it has to do is usually the state reps are there. So Brad Jones, Jason Lewis, the select board's always invited. I know the town officials are invited, and Rich Haggerty, and they're typically there too. So that tends to draw a little bit bigger crowd. So keep that in mind. Usually when we've hosted an event at Hillview, we're closer to 100, 120, maybe, you know, right in that number. So just kind of keep that in mind. You know, when you have state reps and other people there, tends to draw a little bit bigger crowd.
Not so many years ago, we had a member who was an associate of the Council on Aging who threatened to go to the state because we were getting involved in politics.
I think she did go to the state.
I mean,
I think she did.
no, she didn't.
Okay,
Kevin asked me to talk her out of it and I did.
okay. Good job.
Anyhow, feel free to read down through the list there on the second page. You know, the birthday lunch was on November 6th. Very help presentation. Carrie started a new coffee talk once a month. It happened this morning, yesterday, happened yesterday. Which has been very successful. So that's her second thing. So we had, and then today, which another two events. We had karaoke with police today, this afternoon, which is a wonderful event. So they had a lot of fun with that this afternoon. And then tomorrow is our annual Harrow's Chicken Pot Pie Police Senior Dinner here. So doors open at 4:30 and meals gets started serving at 5. So it's always a great event. We have, I think, almost 70 people signed up for that. We kind of pushed the number a little bit on that. It's always a very well attended event. People really like it. So I want to, even though it has not happened yet, I always want to say thank you to the Reading Police Department. They do an amazing job with that.
And the police showed up today for karaoke too,
Yep.
because of officer.
And quite a few did. So, and I have some videos of them singing. I love it.
And also movie and pizza, and so you're doing two food events tomorrow. Movie and pizza.
Yes, it's been oddly enough for the past couple of years. It seems like on the Thursday of the police dinner, we usually have a lunch too. So we've had people stay for lunch and dinner. And I think there was a year where we had like an event in the morning and there was like snacks. So they had like little snacks, pastries, and they had lunch and then they stayed for the police dinner. So, hey, it's
Which
awesome.
we hope will happen with Cal.
Yeah.
Be a very nice social place, yeah.
Wait, that's tomorrow. You have the movie.
I'd like to expand a little bit when we talk about attendance. So we do have out-of-towners come here for various events. So when we think of our membership card in the future, when we have our new location, should we have membership that shows local Reading residents and also non-residents?
Yeah, we're working on that right now. You know, there's quite a bit of logistics that we're figuring out, particularly with the new building, and kind of what systems we're going to use and everything. You know, right now we can see who's residents and who's not residents. So, you know, we do try for the majority of our events, especially our large events. We always say Reading residents get priority first. We have said that for quite a while now. Now, as we get a little bit closer to the events, we do tend to open it up, you know, as we get much closer to the event, especially if we don't have enough people. You know, just like trips, Reading residents first, everyone outside of Reading, they get put on the wait list. As we get a little bit closer, if we have some slots open up, we allow it to open up a little bit. It's always nice that way because we do have a lot of people from outside of town that support us. You know, they come here every day. You know, they participate. They understand they are non-residents, but they still enjoy being here with their friends, participating. So it's always nice to kind of, you know, let them, you know, participate when we can, you know, especially if they're coming every day and joining in. So, but our residents do the same thing at other senior centers. So keep that in mind. You know, I know people go to Wakefield for some exercises and Linfield and some so on and so forth. So, you know, there are, you know, seniors kind of go to where their friends are. So if you limit that, you know, it's going to be a little bit challenging because people want to be with their friends. So.
But do they contribute monetarily?
We do have some people that do. I've had numerous checks given to us for our donation account. You know, people, you know, give us money.
Do we promote that at all?
No, but you know, we haven't promoted or pushed it very hard right now.
If you're a member of also the Jenks Center, I've got a card for the Jenks Center, which is where I go for quite a few events. Every year, they send out an appeal, not from the Jenks Center itself, but from the Council on Aging, suggesting, you know, that a donation would be in order. And I always gave them $100 because I figured it was, you know, pretty good that I could go over and use their facility for so many things. And I don't know if we did something like that, if we might not have some cash. in it.
We very well could be a very good way to
I
do
don't know
it.
that we can solicit funds.
Right,
Yeah,
yep.
I can't solicit funds.
Right.
I don't think the COA can either.
No, Jenna said.
Yeah,
I'd have to look at the form and see exactly who it comes from.
Yeah.
Well, they're making it impossible for out of towners now, so I'm not giving them any money anymore.
you also have to keep in mind Winchester is set up quite differently than a lot of other senior centers. They have quite a few different tentacles, I would say.
It's a for-profit.
yeah,
company that runs
for-profit
it. It's
company.
a whole different animal.
Yeah. Now, the Friends Group,
Yeah.
that's why we also have a Friends Group now,
Yeah, friends.
because the Friends Group can ask, so. Yeah, that's the report for, October. So thank you. Great. Trust fund, yes, you can see in there, trust funds have done really well. They still continue to grow. Next month, we are gonna start asking for money next month, just to give you a heads up, to start paying for some things, because ARPA is kind of starting to come to an end. So I will be requesting some money next month. You know, just like we did before we started using the ARPA fund. So, you know, previously, especially for the new folks here, you know, we'd always ask for money for like the birthday lunch and the cake, the gift cards. I know we paid for birthday lunch, and there's always a couple other things that we always requested funds for.
Be a picky historian. We actually used to pay for the cake. not-
Yeah.
Not for the whole lunch. Because the lunch used to be from the Meals on Wheels people.
Oh, yeah,
And so it didn't cost much and you guys paid for it. And when people didn't want to eat that anymore,
Oh,
we
yeah.
started kicking in.
yeah. But I know since I've been here, because we haven't done meals,
It's been
yeah.
years, I know.
I know since I've been here, it was birthday lunch and, movie and pizza.
Yeah.
But, just be aware, we're working on things right now over the next month, and next month we'll be, requesting some funds. But it has been nice that we haven't been touching the trust funds for quite a while now, and they really have grown. We've also gained some trust funds. I know John Parsons has created a trust fund in his wife's name, which was very kind and generous of him. And that's been, you know, growing. So, you know, it's been great to have this opportunity. You know, we've had the trust funds, we've allowed our trusts, or we've had the ARPA funds, we've allowed the trust funds to grow, and we're in a very good position. So
So there's
I have
nothing
2
you're
questions.
requesting for funding this month.
nothing for this coming month, no, but next month I will request.
He's not, but we had an idea, but I also have a question. Last month, and Jen, I think you asked me if I could find the documentation on this, and not yet is my answer, but it used to be, back in the days of Jane Burns, she would, at the beginning of each fiscal year, ask the trust fund folks to figure out what the average return had been for the year, so she'd have a ballpark estimate, because our policy has been only to spend the interest, not the principal. And when we've got lots of it, it's kind of easy to say, sure, have $100, no danger, but to plan really effectively, she would see how many thousands she thought we were likely to have in the year. And she was able to plan big events going forward, as opposed to these kind of little dribs and drabs, which is all we've needed with ARPA now. But
Yeah.
if we could figure out how we could get that information from the
I know-
trust fund.
I know
folks.
Jen and I have been talking about that. We've discussed that recently about.
Yeah, I apologize, Jen. I know you asked me to
Yeah.
find it, and I've looked, I haven't found it yet, but I haven't given up. But I think it was just a comment and something saying that that's what she'd done. I don't think it was a formal policy or anything.
Yeah, and you know, Jen and I have been talking about it, and we also may ask, maybe rather than doing it once a month, maybe with that way, maybe we do it every quarter, or,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if every month it's fine, but it would make, I think, it a little bit easier if we do it every 3 or 6 months, or maybe, you know, rather than every month. So, stay tuned.
And I think what Marilyn's point too is it would be very helpful to know how much money we could potentially
Yes, definitely.
earmark for special events here. So things that, you know, that the Pleasant Street Center can't host, but we could, you know, give you the money to do. Because that's what it's there for, if you're, you know, you want to spend it on, and, you know, plus the 60+ community.
I do have to say, and to add to that, you know, over 3 years, you know, since I've, you know, you know, in a very short period of time, in just over 3 years, I do have to say, you know, we've done really well. The COA's done really well with, you know, being good with the trusts. It's nice that we've formed we had the Friends group get formed. So we've had a lot of folks, you guys included, and the people with the Friends group have worked really hard. And I know I'm very grateful and thankful for all that hard work on getting the Friends group so we can get that piece going and, you know, being respectful of our trust funds. So kudos to and thank you to everyone for that.
Who was first?
But I know Rosemary tried to say something earlier.
What I want, what I want you to know, we're talking about taking monies to be used for the center. We have a day that we have pizza and a movie, but it's been pizza and popcorn. Will we be returning to pizza and a movie? And
Yep,
where does that money come from?
Tomorrow is pizza and a movie, Rosemary. We just had we had to shift a little bit with some programming things. And we tried pizza and a movie, which actually pizza and, no, movie and popcorn. Sorry, I had to get the right combination. We did it upstairs and it actually worked out really well. And we're actually thinking of maybe doing both. You know, because it's kind of simple to have, it doesn't cost much to get some popcorn and have a movie upstairs, a little bit smaller group. But people kind of liked it. So, you know, yes, we're doing pizza and the movie still. That's tomorrow at 12:45. But we're thinking of keeping that pizza or movie and popcorn upstairs as well, in addition to that. So, you know, because it doesn't take much for us to turn a movie on and have a little popcorn.
Yeah.
I think all who attend would like both. They would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Last year, Jenna, you gave a little presentation, you talked a bit about the town budget. And I know that, you're in the process of presenting for the next fiscal year. And I was just wondering if that's something we can do again, so we can get an idea of how the town is supporting elder and human services, so that we can put that in perspective. So I think that would be very helpful.
Sure. So the next fiscal year, I can tell you, the budget is level
You don't have to
funded.
do it now.
There's no real adjustments aside from, you know, the raises of staff. We're not adding staff. We're not adding any money to any expense lines or anything. We had to keep it very lean this year, but moving forward, you know, into FY28, there is a little blurb in the presentation that will outline the future going into recal and things like that. So hopefully that'll shed a little light, but I think we're in a really good position moving into recal. We have trust funds, we have an operating budget that will give us an increase in programming. We have program fees that will start to collect in the new year. So
So if you could provide something with a little bit more detail, you know, so we could actually see
Numbers,
what the town,
numbers.
yeah,
what the town is contributing.
right.
And is there a need to advocate?
So you mean in the future or you mean for
No,
FY27? Okay.
Well, the next budget as compared to this budget.
It's exactly the same.
Well,
There's no increases aside from staff raises. The EHS budget for expenses is $50,000. The recreation is still self-supporting. Veterans remains the same for their budget. We did not increase any expenses and we don't need to at this time for FY27.
so is there a fact sheet with the numbers on it?
Yep,
that
there will be
can
at
distribute?
December 9th select board presentation.
Okay,
They don't come out in advance. But after that meeting, I'm happy to send you guys the information and you guys can talk about it at a future meeting.
great. Everything
And
helpful.
along the same lines, what comes to my mind, and as Chris is talking about the numbers going up and up and up, and I'd say all the things you said are contributing, and great programming, is great stuff, but it's also the population is growing. There's more of us, and so the dollars per person that the town is spending, if we're staying level, must be going down. And I'd like to understand that and how much it does or doesn't really impact operating choices. You know, are you having to pick more lean choices? Because now they've got 75 cents for me this year, and last year they had $1, you know, because that's gonna keep happening independent of recal in the next couple of years. So I would like to just understand it.
Oh, also keep in mind, we are gonna have to start charging for programming here in the next handful of months. And that's, you know, and a lot of times when you go back to charging a fee, the numbers are gonna shift again. I don't know how, you know,
But still, we've
just-
got the
just-
base that's getting.
but just, I know, I understand that, but when you start, I do know,
Yeah.
once you start adding a fee,
Mhm.
numbers can shift. I don't know which way, maybe they'll stay level, maybe
Sure.
they'll grow, but just be aware. And in a couple months, when we start charging, there will most likely be a shift.
And how will you start charging? Will people pay at the door?
We're working on that now.
Okay, so I had another question first, but in response to Marilyn's thing, I think the point you're making is that the size of the population is growing, but as I look at Chris's number, the numbers here are shifting that much from month to month, not considerably. So, so we have to keep that in mind, that yes, the population's growing, but that may not be how the impact on here is clear. But this is another, here's my ignorance question again, newbie here. I'm assuming that these trust funds each have a purpose. And where can I find that?
That's coming up later in tonight's meeting,
Oh,
so
okay.
Your
Okay,
manual,
great.
right?
stand by.
Okay, thank you.
But actually to your point, if you do look, we have been staying pretty steady, with numbers year to year.
Yeah,
They go up and down a little bit, but we haven't been jumping high over the past. We've gotten to the point, where they're kind of staying around that 37,000 duplicated interactions a year, and we're still staying between 19 and 2,000 unduplicated, and that's been for a couple years now.
I think we're just asking to look at it and to think about these
Yeah.
numbers. I don't think we're saying anything bad's happening. Just want to understand. It's kind of the elephant in the room,
Yep,
what's happening. We just want to
Some
see.
of that might be limited to the size of the seams.
Space.
Yes, we're at capacity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, moving along, thank
Oh.
you.
I don't know if we had talked about, a few of us were chatting about holding an event, because there's really not much going on by way of communicating with the people in the town about what's going on with recalc. We're starting to gather information about what more they want to know or what things they might like to see. And we were talking, a few of us, about having an event sometime in the next couple of months with a
Should-
pizza party or something.
Should this go on the future agenda?
Well, I was gonna ask
Yes.
for the money tonight.
It's
You
not on
always say
the,
don't do it.
it's not on the
Yeah,
No,
agenda.
the rule was that there simply has to be funding requests and possible vote, which there is. We talked about this more with you. We can do it next month, but the deal was that if it says trust funding requests and possible vote, we don't have to itemize.
okay, so your thing would come out of the trust fund?
Yes.
And- Okay, so it is covered then under funding requests.
Thank
so-
you.
So,
I don't know, Pete, you were there when we were talking about this. We were talking about asking for up to $1,000 to hold a couple of events.
For what purpose?
To do an outreach program to the 60+ community to bring them up to speed with what's going on. They haven't heard anything since they voted. I mean, those who read the website are finding some stuff, but I don't think most read the website, frankly.
and so you think that it would be here at the Pleasant Street Center?
We're thinking at the library in the evening, early evening.
And the COA would host it?
Yes.
If you do the library in the evening, excuse me,
What?
if you think of people our age, a lot of people don't want to go out at night. A lot of people can't see in the dark anymore. If you do
Well,
the
actually,
library,
Rosemary,
huh?
we were thinking about doing two. One maybe in the daytime at lunch in the Pleasant Street Center, and another one in the evening in the library for people who work and, so we don't have to, keep both.
But they had
Pleasant
two
Street.
people here or three people here last year at the senior center asking how people our age get their information.
Yeah,
Why don't you talk with them?
what about them?
They came to ask, you was talking about contacting people our age.
Yeah,
They did this whole thing with people and got all the information.
yeah,
There should be someone over there who can tell you that
over where?
at the town hall. There
Yeah,
was a
can I,
meeting here last
I don't
year.
understand.
can I chime in too? Sorry. I think that's an awesome idea. I know that in the new year, we had it on a timeline to do a community update after we kind of dived in with the committees individually and got some more really good feedback and made some adjustments to existing policies and things like that. But if we wanted to give the 60 plus population or even members of the community that preliminary information that the Council on Aging is getting and the Recreation Committee is getting, I'm happy to do that. I don't know if it's better to do like a combination Council on Aging and staff, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're being consistent with our delivery and our presentation every time we're giving it. So I'm not sure how Chris feels about that or the rest of the board, but I would love to be a part of that.
Right, maybe it makes sense to put our heads together and come back with a proposal next month. We were also talking, Jenna, about doing basic outreach and doing things like having a little mini session on how do you go to the website and set it up, she'll get emails when there are meeting notices.
So we
and
can talk,
things.
that
But
would
we
be
could do
future
that.
agenda item.
Yeah,
then.
we could do
Yeah.
that next month. Let's.
So we
defer it
want to
next
talk
month.
about community outreach as a future agenda item then,
All right,
Yeah.
it's
because that's
It's-
separate from, yeah.
no, it's part of what we would do with the thing we're funding.
Okay, I thought you were talking about different things.
No, we're talking about outreach on things of interest to people age 60, and part of it is recalc, but there's more to life, although not for many of us these days.
But you're not gonna do it in December.
No.
December,
probably
so you
January.
have,
So we can do
So
this
we have
next
some
week.
time to plan,
Yeah,
and think about.
When it comes to my turn, let me talk a little bit about that.
all right.
Okay. So, we okay, are we good?
I think we're good.
So BH plus A Boston visit, John and Chris.
Couldn't find my reading glasses, so I gotta try to read my notes with these,
You better get up here alone.
well, these are cheaters. We went into Boston and they had a whole lot of stuff to show us. I think they started with the different flooring because the different uses for the different areas.
Who did you meet with?
Pardon me,
Who did you meet with?
DH
Who
and.
showed you?
Joel,
But where were you?
Oh,
in
DH and
their
I
offices in
headquarters.
Boston.
oh.
And they have floor samples there?
Floor samples and like, yeah, they have a whole.
So it's like when you're buying a condo, you go into the room and all the samples. are-
Yeah, there's like samples all over their conference room that, they have a closet where they just pull things out of.
Yeah, I mean, they showed us all different types of flooring, different uses for the gym or for what you'd be doing for offices or a workout area. They showed us all the external windows with the, the triple pane glass that they had. They pointed out that they wanted to use a lot of glass inside, even on office doors, just to use as much natural light. But of course, something like the nurse's office, the glass would be clouded so that there'd be a certain amount of privacy and possibly some other one that way. They presented several different types of tiles, a ton of different tiles, depending on the look that you wanted in certain areas and the different colors in the mood that you wanted to project. Here we go. They pointed out in certain areas you do want to use rugs just to keep the noise down. They had a video presentation of all the plumbing fixtures. Plumbing fixtures plus some of the handicapped items that would be in the restrooms to make it easier for people to use. I thought it was a very very professional presentation, and I think it was put on by a lot of people that really know what they're doing, and I'm glad we have them.
So it was a good visit. You know, it's kind of cool to see all the different samples. None of this is set in stone. You know, so just keep that in mind. They were just trying to give us ideas of what, you know, like the light fixtures on the outside could look like, what the different types of floorings that, you know, could be in like the Zumba exercise room, what could be in the weight room, what could be in the multi-purpose room, the gym, you know, different carpets. But none of this until, you know, nothing was official. This was just to see possibilities, because
We
you have
weren't
to,
there to make decisions.
yeah, you have to go to bid,
They're just.
because some of these things might not even be available
Right.
when you go, you know, with the contractor. So, so just keep that in mind. It was just more to see, you know, what's out there. I'm not an expert in it. I know it's going to be about 10,000 times more better than this tile and 8 inches of concrete right below my feet right here. But it was kind of cool to see like the possibility of like the exercise room, the nice cushion, so it's easier on the knees. You know, what kind of light fixtures is on the outside, you know, what kind of gym floor, what floor is on the walking track, what possibilities. So nothing was chosen, but it was really cool to see different options.
My 2 cents on that is that would be an excellent presentation to give to the volunteer groups that are involved in this, so that we can begin to see what this whole thing is gonna look like. Right now, we have no idea what this thing is gonna look like, but the kind of presentation that you guys are talking about sounds like it was awesome. And I think it would be great if they pack up some of their samples and we could do a lunch and learn or an evening program. And that kind of fits in what you were saying.
Piece of it, yeah.
That we were tabled, but, because the last thing that we want to do is keep all of this under lock and key until the doors open. I mean, that's the last thing that we want to do, because we want to be able to generate goodwill all the way through this process. I think.
Yeah, I just want to chime in on that. We wouldn't be able to bring the samples here. That's why we actually had to go there, because they have like a little warehouse room with all the samples in it, and there's just so many. To me, it was actually very overwhelming, and they're just trying to get a general idea of what actually mostly what I got out of it was like, they're like, hey, this is our plan. Here's what we're doing. And all of us were like, wow, this is great. You guys know what you're doing. But so their goal, just to let you know, is when that contractor is selected, then that contractor starts submitting the samples of the materials that they included in that bid. And then after that final, they'll have a final review with the town to select all the colors and the patterns and all of the details. Like, okay, we know that the multi-purpose room is going to have round tables, but here's the round tables we want. We want the ones that are in Wilmington, and we want the chairs that are in Wilmington. And then at that time, like that's when we bring in the Council on Aging and the rec members at that time to kind of work together and finalize all of those samples in the design.
I
So-
would just, Jenna, I hear you, but I would encourage you to bring the groups in sooner. It's gonna benefit you in the long run. So
Well, we don't have
I don't
any-
even wanna talk about it anymore, but I'm just encouraging you.
I'm just going to simply tell you that I don't have the information. So we have a bunch of conceptual 3D renderings that we can provide, but I can't tell you that this is what the building's going to look like. I don't have that information because
Yeah.
we don't know.
And
until
John,
the
I'm
building is
encouraged by
there.
what you said,
Yeah,
that,
that's not what I'm saying, Gina.
John, I'm encouraged by what you said, that they really were very professional and they really know what they're talking
Yeah,
about.
that was one of the most important parts of it. These guys, they've done a whole lot. of
This is
stuff.
what they do. This is,
It is, what they do, and Chris and I talked about that too. And as far as bringing this stuff out here, Nancy, but this room is big enough, this room is big enough, but I mean, they need a moving van to bring all that stuff out.
Could they just
Okay,
take pictures?
I'm just wondering, and I wasn't gonna say anything until you mentioned that they did show you a video like on bathroom fixtures and plumbing and everything. This whole sense, and thanks Marilyn for reminding me of the phrase that I was looking for a couple days ago when she and I were talking about something. This whole concept of universal design, not just we have this facility for disabled in the bathroom, but is that concept of universal design, which makes life easier for everyone, really still present in these conversations at all? Because it goes to furnishings, it goes to flooring, it goes to every, doorknobs and what you have in the bathroom and everything. And I can't get a handle, as I listen both at the Permanent Building Committee and elsewhere, as to whether or not we're pushing that. I know that it came up at one point. One of you has told me something that it was in the concepts discussed in the Permanent Building Committee, but where and how can we find out if the people that are getting down to the nitty-gritty are keeping that in mind?
Well, I know with universal design, the doorknobs have to be leather jointed.
Right.
Yeah, they have to, that's code.
Yes, but if they're
Yeah.
not thinking about that, if they're only thinking about a minimum of ADA compliant, then, that's the difference. If you think universal design, you think one way. If you think ADA compliant, you think another way. And I'm just wondering, are we hearing anything about, from the
I would be more
architect
than
down
happy
to the
to
design?
This is what I do with UDO.
Yeah, right.
I'm more than happy to push the concept. Like when I talked with Jenna the other day about the rugs, I said, rugs and walkers are not great.
Right.
But Jenna explained to me that it's going to be, Jenna, how did you explain that it's not what you think of with the rug?
Yeah, it's an inset, so it's completely flush. So if there's tile and then it meets the rug, like there's in the lounge area, there's rug where the furniture is, but then there was hardwood outside of the rug. But the rug is inset into the tile, so it's completely flush. Chris, am I explaining that right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
So there's no,
Yeah,
so it's all
there's no
even.
lid.
But
Which and Karen, that sounds wonderful, as long as you've got that you're there when all these details would be.
But they brought, I mean, this was what they already, this is what was shown from what I
Yeah.
hear, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's to me universal design, because you want something to soften up the
Right.
ambiance.
Yeah.
But it's inlaid it so that
Right.
it's all one surface. That's universal design.
Right, and
Yeah.
that thinking has to stay all the way through to the decision making.
So
That's
hear
my
us,
point.
Jenna,
That's great.
Chris, we want to ensure that the, not just ADA minimum requirements, but that universal design is really carefully considered throughout this process. And we believe as a COA that is part of our responsibility.
Sure, and I just want to add, a couple weeks ago, someone had mentioned that the ADA, I think it's Albert Pless, ADA coordinator now, I think it is. So we ended up getting him those documents a couple weeks ago, the construction set, and he's been reviewing them. And if anything pops up in his mind's eye, then he's going to let us know as well. So he's involved in the process as well.
Right.
And I do know when we were there, they were talking about doorknobs, and they specifically asked, I remember the question, they were like, what do you think? Would this be good for a senior, older adult? So I knew right away that it's staying in their mind. They're like, well, what kind of, what kind, lever doorknobs, what kind of faucets would be easier for seniors? Kind of like right now, we have the push down, which actually worked, like downstairs, we have the push down, which actually worked really well. You don't have to try to grab a lever and move it, it stays on, just all you have to do is push down.
Or the automatic ones.
Or the automatic ones. So I know they were talking about, a lot of the conversation was about, how is this going to work for an older adult? Which is nice.
And I think, having conversations like this helps those of us sitting in the room, but having a conversation with other people that are interested in the center, that can listen to people saying, well, we did this and we saw this and this is what was recommended, is going to be key to, getting this out the door and having people be happy.
I agree totally, because
So
right
I-
now, we're still getting questions of, are we gonna have cushion on the floor? Well, yeah, we've been talking about cushion from day one, but they don't have that information yet, and it doesn't have to be detailed or even a decision, it just,
Right.
it just
Gotta
needs
be-
to
Could
be
I
a
point out that
conversation.
Sean had his hand up for a while and everybody keeps talking over him?
Okay, so after everything is presented, everybody's decided on who makes the final decisions. Does it come to us for consideration at all, or is it just stay with Jenna and Chris or the building committee? What input would we have on it?
So like I stated a little bit ago, once that bidder is selected, the designer will come and get some feedback from the Council on Aging and the rec committee members on
Yeah.
those final finishes.
Jenna, that is actually going to be scheduled? That they will come to one of our meetings?
Yes, but sorry, my video here. Yes, so they went over in the permanent building committee when exactly that would be, and it's in a further, it's down the line. So it's not going to be anytime soon because there's a certain window of time where you order the furniture, because if you ordered the furniture in July for next September, they might not have it next September when the building opens, or next June when the building opens. So there's a tight timeline in which they'll need to meet with us and say, hey, here's what's available, here's what we're thinking, the designer, and then we'll select all those things at that time. So yes, I have it in an email saying specifically that they will meet with the Council on Aging members and the rec committee members and staff once that bidder is selected and we're in that phase of the project for selections.
Great, thank you. All right, that's probably a good segue into you, Nancy, PPC update.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to update people on, where the permanent building committee is in terms of their timeline. They do publish a timeline at every meeting. If, I'm not certain it's on their website, it should be posted on their website, but, we are still in what's considered design development. But we've already finished the schematic design. So the design of the building, the layout of the rooms, the layout of the kitchen and all that, that's done. And it's been pretty much put to bed. Where we are now is we are in the construction documents design phase. And currently, there is a document out there that is focused on the specifics within the construction parameters for this project. And it's out there and it's called the 90% construction document. And I can send it to people. Is that 11? Yeah.
1400, I think.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
So, here's the reason why that document is very important. BHNA has already conducted meetings with several town committees and town employees to review the document to identify any missing components. So there that group, some of the existing committees like the Community Planning Development Commission has had visits from BHNA and they've talked through the document. The Permanent Building Committee Chair, Pat Tompkins, has assigned several subject matter experts from within the PBC. I cannot say that fast, so you'll have to bear with me. The PBC committee to also review that 90% construction document to see if things are missing, if things need to be added, if there needs to be more detail. So for example, on the permanent building committee, you know, there's an expert who knows a lot about plumbing. So that person was assigned to look at the plumbing category to determine if it was as detailed and it contained all the information that it needed to contain. And along with reviewing this 90% construction document, concurrently to that, BHNA and TTH, of which Mr. Chris, right? Peter Collins and Joel have been working together, and I believe with estimators, or they are the estimators at this point. I'm not certain about that, to solidify the final pricing. This information from the meetings that were held with several town committees and town employees to review the document, the people on the PBC board that's reviewing the document to identify any missing pieces. This is all going to come together into a final document, which will then be the document that is given to the contractor once the contractor is selected. So it's kind of the roadmap for the contract. And that should happen by the first week in February. It's expected, December, sorry. By the first week in December, it's expected that this document, 1,400-page document, will have been reviewed. And missing components or pieces that need to be added. A good example of that is Mark Dotzer looked at the document, and he looked at the drawings and the narrative for the assistive learning piece. Assisted learning. Yeah. Notice that there seemed to be some missing pieces in what was listed on the diagram and also what was listed in the narrative. And that's what BHNA was looking for when they met with the town committees and the town employees, and having the permanent building committee members look at it. My concern with that is that there are some pieces in this document that may merit the Council on Aging and other experts to look at to see if there are pieces missing. For example, this document's divided into divisions, and for example, one is on finishes, which is what you both went to. You looked at some finishes, some flooring that. And I know one of the very important things for the Council on Aging is that our rooms be as multi-purpose as possible. We don't have that many small, we have some large rooms that we can deal with. So we want to make sure, for example, when the flooring is selected, that it's done in a way that it's not going to prohibit a room from being used for multi-purposes. Or the gym, for example, could hold a large gathering with tables and chairs and food. So those are the kinds of questions that I think could be asked by this group and other subject matter experts in the field, just to make sure, not saying that these people don't know what they're talking about, But there's always little pieces that are missed, and for example, Mark docks her pump. And, so I think it's important to have a very broad perspective review on those documents. What makes it difficult is that it's 14 different pages long, and also not an expert. I'm not an expert in flooring, but questions can be asked, which then can make the Joel and Peter go back and make sure that those components are in the documents.
Do you feel that you could not ask those questions?
Well, they aren't generating those kinds of questions at a meeting. They were specific meetings held by BHNA with committees and with town employees to gather that information. So,
It's
as
all
we,
going on in the background, I think you're saying.
yeah, so, well, yeah, but,
Person
so
versus the
as
group.
the schematic design was done.
Yeah.
Marilyn, Jean, and I had a lot of input into what was the questions that needed to be asked on the schematic design and how it relates to the activities of the 60th. Yeah. So there are several divisions. Finishes was one, specialties, division 10. That's going to include signage and visual displays. Equipment includes the athletic equipment. So not only is it schematic, not only is it in the drawings, construction drawings, but it's also in the details of the narrative in this document. Communications. Is someone to look at that and make sure that the rooms are all properly outfitted with the kinds of technology and at a minimum ADA devices. Just think that there's an opportunity. You can't have too many eyes looking at this. You can't. Because there's always going to be something out there that needs to be done. And then the final piece, what Kate, thank you. Kate and Marilyn brought up is the ADA, but not just the ADA, the universal design. And how is that identified throughout this whole document so that the contractor will know that this needs to be addressed? And so I just think as a membership that advocates for the 60+ community, I just don't think we would be doing our part if we didn't take a stab at looking at the details to make sure that to make sure that all the components.
I don't feel.
Can't see my question.
I honestly don't have time. Are you suggesting that there could be a subcommittee that would do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so my question really is, so number one, this is just beginning to make sense to me. And I've listened to several BBC meetings and everything and tried to figure this out, but the email you sent, you just sent Monday, where you broke out those same things. My question is, so you've attached that 1,400-page document, and it's the long list of all the specifications. But if I want to see what's in there, how do I do that? That's never been clear in those documents. How would I see what's under furnishing?
Control F. It's a PDF document.
Right.
It's the whole thing downloaded. So you would go through that document to that particular division. Say, for example.
But it doesn't seem to be like I can click on that to go further. I just see the title in what you sent me, unless I'm missing something. in the document?
Well, I'm not certain what document you're looking at, but you can, that document that currently is available online. that you
So can I
take
just
a
say,
look.
some of this sounds like more of our open discussion on recap. Can I say, because I was really more interested about the
Oh, okay.
OPC, and I had specific questions because I listened to it last night. And Jenna, I did have, I want to continue that part of the discussion till later.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Especially since we're going to, if we're thinking about setting up a subcommittee. And I asked you, Jenna, I heard last night while I was listening, and I know you were at the meeting, did they say something about 10 EV charging parking spaces, or did I mishear?
Yeah, so actually there is going to be 2 active stations and but the overall plan is to wire it for future EV stations should they arise in the future. So it's just like the electrical work for something in the future, not the actual EV units. So it's only going to be 2 EV spots right now.
Okay, I just was curious because I know that there were huge discussions about the number of parking spaces there would be. And I never heard anything about EV station spaces in that. So I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't interfering with the thinking about the parking spaces.
Yeah, it's a great
Okay.
question.
All right, and also, I think another point that was made last night is appears to be under budget at this point, which is really what you want. It should be under budget at this point, otherwise red flags are going up. But I did want to make that point that the way it was presented, is they are currently under budget.
Yep.
I
And I
just want to throw out a thought about electrical vehicle stations. Over at where the Long Con is located, the town's put in some electrical stations and it's blown out the wiring in Longhorn. It ruined their fryer. They couldn't fry anything. So hopefully the people who wire at our new location know what they're doing.
We hope everybody involved with this project knows what they're doing. Okay, okay, so we can, yeah, the rest of the discussion.
But but there are bits and pieces of people saying, well, what about this and what about that and what about this? And we had a way to collect that for schematic design. We don't have a way to collect that now.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, even if it's only 10 pieces of information that we feel needs further consideration. It's 10 pieces of information. So.
Okay, so thank you for the PBC update, and we'll continue that conversation as part of the open discussion recap.
Yeah.
All right, Marilyn, could you give us a quick update about the open house at the library?
The open house was enthusiastically attended by the community. It got off to a little bit of a slow start because it was also the Halloween downtown night. But people with costumes on and their children with costumes on started straggling in about half an hour. I mean, there were people from the beginning, but the surge came up after they had clearly been out making the rounds to get the goodies. Quite a few people stopped by our table, and thank you to John Parsons. He came and he's helped me. And there were so the range of questions. I think the most common, well, I heard some about recalc, but honestly not much. I heard more about the senior center. What services do we have for seniors? And it was more, and probably just because these are the people who came out at that hour to do it, there was more, you know, my parents are in town. What have you got for them? How do we do it? And Chris had armed me with a stack of pleasantries. Thank you, Chris. And I took our little cards. It's got the QR code on it as well. And people appreciated both and explained and encouraged them on how to get more information. And they were really concerned about, you know, their parents. What do we have that could help them? And who comes and what kinds of things do they do? And gee, Shine is a real issue. Nobody can get a Shine appointment this year because 2 major health carriers knocked off their 2 favorite plans, one of which was mine. But Anyway, but it was useful. I was glad to be there and there was a good flow of traffic and anyway, thank you, John, for coming to help me out. We got rid of, oh, I'd say 3/4 of the pleasantries.
Wow.
Somebody put it in their hand and said, oh, okay. And
Yeah.
maybe they put it in the recycle on the way out the door. I don't know, but it got that far. There was that level of interest. And nice people, very nice people and
The thing that kind of surprised me the most was there were more people asking about their parents than there were people in the age of their parents.
yes,
And I'd say that's at least 2/3 to 3/4 of what we.
yeah, I agree.
Well, and it makes you wonder if those parents were actually here or if they were evaluating a move here maybe to be closer.
I actually,
as
I asked them
preparation.
typically, we had time to actually chat with these people and I asked and most of them, it was a parent in town. Some of them, it was a parent who wasn't quite 60 yet, but very close, things like that.
In one particular case, it was someone whose parents were just about to move.
Yeah,
Great.
so I'm glad we went.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Thank you.
worthwhile event to attend each
Yeah.
year.
Thank you for your willingness to.
Well, it's free
yeah.
pizza. And cookies. I'm easy.
All right, and then moving along to the orientation packet that Marilyn has been working on and others. And you met with Chris?
We did.
Were you able to meet?
We did. I had to cancel twice last week because I was sick. And Chris and I met finally today, but Chris has been hard at work at it and there were he went through, I'm speaking for you, Chris, just correct
fine,
me.
go ahead.
He went through everything in his version of this and found that they, in terms of what the nature of the document was, we had the same things, but he found some that were somewhat, slightly updated. And so I now have all the updated ones and we agreed this morning, I'm going to make these are the green sheets. There's going to be a table of contents or section things. Chris, really got excited and he's ordering notebooks, which I know you won't want, but some of us will. So he's going to produce the notebooks again, so everyone will have their own, and it does include a section on the trust funds that's all the original correspondence, which it gives you insight into what the essence was of why the person was motivated to do it and who they hoped to help. Usually when it came down to it, they didn't put restrictions because they didn't want to make it useless. But you can see the spirit in which it was donated. You can imagine the person who gave us the money and what they had in mind. And I find it really helpful to focus me on what those things are about, but they're in it. So we're gonna have new printed ones very soon after I get my table of contents organized here. And in addition, we agreed that what we'll do probably is just take all of the, there are probably half a dozen different legal documents. They're like parts of the Mass General laws, parts of the charter, parts of the bylaw that pertain to what we do. We're gonna stack those all in one big PDF because these are not documents that will ever change. They don't need to be edited. So there'll be one like rules and regulations and laws things, and there'll be another one.
I know, I'm thinking the same thing. Charter and bylaws change.
Of course it will change.
Yeah, they change.
No, but the ones that created us 20 years ago are what they were. New ones would be new things that would get added later, but the thing that created us did it in 1986 or whatever, and it's just history. It's just saying.
So you feel like this is done until,
99%. We have a couple of little things.
Yeah,
like
we're
the
just
table
tweaking
of
it, cleaning
contents.
it up. Yeah.
and then you're going to put it in a,
We're gonna make a giant PDF for the legal ones and a giant PDF will be stacked with the table of contents, so you can jump on the ones that have to do with the trust funds, and Chris is gonna help us get them put on our website.
and again, talking from a universal design perspective, I
Yeah.
would hope to make the PDFs as editable as possible.
They
Yes.
are, it's a PDF, but they're
Not
just,
by definition, they are not. If they're pictures of
Yeah.
or if it's a
Yeah.
photo scan,
yeah,
that is not an editable PDF necessarily. It has to go through what's called OCR.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's what I
well,
just.
maybe you can help us with all that, because I don't know
Or
much about it.
the town hall might have the capability
Okay,
to do that.
all right,
I was just gonna say, because you raised that before, Karen, and it intrigued me because I got the point you were driving at. You want them editable And I did a
Which
little
means that
research
they're
and it came up
searchable.
with, if you use OCR, you can take a scan document even and turn it into a editable one.
Yes.
And we should explore that.
As much
further
as
if that's what
possible.
you
Some
want.
of them will not be able to
'Cause
be
you wanna
because
be
they're
able to do the
copies of
search thing.
copies. Yeah,
Okay,
and that way, when it's uploaded, we want to upload it to in an editable format
okay.
for accessibility, because we
Okay.
want to be as universally designed,
Yeah,
motivated as possible.
it sounds good.
If the objective is to take the PDF document, turn it to Word, so.
No,
No,
you can make,
Like a quick page.
well, yeah, you can make PDFs editable with, yeah, so. Yes, you need the full Adobe version, but yes, that,
Yeah, I know how you do it.
I'll have it.
you don't want to add another thing to your plate.
All right,
No, but I will give
Well, I'm
anybody
sure
my
it's-
password.
But I'm sure town hall must have the full version of Adobe.
all right. We'll seek help and get that done right, but.
Yeah, I just want us to be aware of whenever we upload something, we want it to be editable.
Editable, okay. It makes me nervous because we would never edit these documents, like we've got things signed by Governor Dukakis. We're not gonna edit what he signed.
No, it makes it annotatable, selectable, and
Yeah.
searchable.
Okay, fine, okay, that's great, perfect.
Editable, annotatable, and I'm making up that word, and searchable.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Anyway,
the
those
searchable is kind of critical. for
Right,
the
yeah,
rest
that's
of
the
the
those
document.
two subjects we're envisioning having two links that will be on the website.
Right,
And so this can become out of date again, but they'll be there,
Right.
even if no one's around to do it. And it's got some other goodies in it, that if those of us who like notebooks will be happy.
yes, yeah, and that's the other part of universal design, is giving people multiple formats.
Yeah.
So you use what works for you.
Yeah, so
And I appreciate all the work you've done, and I know Nancy, you were helpful with this as well, and
Yeah,
Jean
and
too.
Jean too.
Yes, so thank you all.
All right, so we're 99% there. We're down to just cleaning up a few things like. the
So
table of
that will
contents.
help you understand.
Yes.
Yes.
thank
And
you.
there is,
I keep forgetting that we have an orientation manual that I haven't seen yet.
well,
So
I
yeah,
haven't
that
seen
would be
it, I
in
haven't
there.
seen it. Well, I mean, we reviewed it, but
Right.
there's also a link. There is also a document, it is online, and I can try to find it, a Google Doc that I created that did explain about the trust funds.
Oh, okay.
That's short, that's a summary one.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
summary one at least gives you some information, because
Yes.
it's talked about, yeah, so I can look for that and send it to you. Great. Okay.
This will give me an opportunity to show how computer illiterate that I am. You're talking about editing stuff. I assume obviously there'd be no way to edit the, to do anything to change the trust.
The text.
Right, that's a point Marilyn brought up too, no.
Okay.
Well, you're using this terminology that's just going right over.
No, ask questions. Yeah, no, we are not changing.
But I'll forget the answer 2 hours later.
I'm the same thing, I turn my head and I forget. Crazy. Okay, so now, again, Marilyn has
Speaking
worked
right.
on. Jenna at the last meeting presented all of the draft documents to us. And there was a lot for us to digest. And so they're not breaking ground. They did mention last night breaking ground in February.
Yeah.
At last night's PBC meeting. So, and then, it's going to take they did tell, how many days?
Well, the construction base itself starts February 9th, 26. And soft opening is June 4th, 27.
Okay,
So just.
And then there's,
15
and then
months.
there's everything in between.
Right. So we had 15 months, but so one of the things that we wanted to give feedback on, because Jenna was willing to share, Jenna shared the draft documents with us. So there is some feedback that we want to provide, and so I just thought it, especially after the town meetings where we wordsmith every single thing, I didn't want to do that here. We could just take one section at a time. So I wanted us to, Marilyn had done all of the sections, but I thought if we could look at the fitness equipment room. And I did also send today the original draft documents if you wanted to refer to those.
Yeah.
So, so Marilyn, You wanna
Okay.
just get the conversation going?
Sure, and I just want to preface this with, none of this is meant to be criticism. This is meant to be a dialogue, which I assume will go on for quite a while, and it will get adjusted as we get more answers to things. So we're just putting this out as constructive feedback, and most of this with stuff that came up at the last meeting, we just wanted to get it written down. And a few of us met to pull our notes together, and in the process, of course, thought of a few more things. So that's where this came from, but the intent also was, we don't really have a process in place yet for reviewing this and for our, as a group, helping it grow, and collaborating on it, and it will take time and probably a lot of back and forth over time. So with all that
Can I
yakety yak,
interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
Jenna, do you have the packet? So do you see the draft fitness room packet feedback?
Trying to
I
pull it up.
didn't get a chance to look at it, so it's all edited on the actual document.
No,
No.
it's a sheet. No, it wasn't edited on there.
Oh,
It's actually posted on the website. The packet is posted on the COA website. And it is page 13.
Give me a second, I'll pull it up.
And,
thanks,
and,
Chris.
and Chris is willing to screen share it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So that you can see, it's just a page and a half of feedback
Yep.
to consider.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And that's so helpful that you guys created something that, we can bring back to the working group. And yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
that's what we were trying to do. And as I was trying to pull it together, I realized a lot of our discussion in the back of the conversation was questions about things that are going to come up at the next meeting. And so I tried to cull those questions off as sort of general questions that apply to all packets, but we understand, we'll know more about that at the next meeting. We just wanted you to be aware that it came to mind as we were looking at these documents, and so we're really excited about the next meeting. So
I'm
what
having some technical issues with Zoom at the moment.
Oh, bad Zoom.
I'm working on it, but
All right.
go ahead.
I'll pull it up on my phone, no worries.
Yeah, pull it up because it's right on the COA website. The packet for tonight was added in.
Do we want to spend much time discussing this? As opposed to, I thought that this was a pulling together of comments, as Marilyn said, from the meeting last
Right.
month, as well as some other comments that some of us have made, and we're now offering it. As opposed to spending a lot of time discussing it tonight, what I would like to see is that a response come back from Jenna and her committee to each one of these points with, oh yeah, we agree, or no, this isn't gonna be possible, or, oh, we hadn't thought about that, whatever. I mean, I'd like to create this feedback loop that wouldn't necessarily tonight mire us into another discussion of things that we discussed last month.
Well, I just want to make sure, does this cover everything?
Yeah, and that's.
I know one of the things that I wanted to bring, actually Jean had emailed me, she's down in Florida, did not want to come back for the COA.
Oh,
meeting.
what's wrong
But
with her?
But one of the points she made, and I remembered this, and Jenny, maybe you could speak to this too, and you both were at the PBC meeting where Joel mentioned that there were 3 pieces of equipment
Yes.
as part of the contract. And yet we look at the original draft document, Jenna, and it is filled with equipment.
Yeah.
So we were that's one of my questions.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
did, on your original document in red, all of the following equipment will be available? So just
So-
to,
So if it's in red, that means that I don't know yet.
okay, thank you.
Sorry. That's a great question.
That clarifies that, end of discussion. Okay.
Can I
Oh, wait a
answer
minute.
Kate's
So-
question?
My
My,
confused,
what?
in red, what was in red?
The draft document had the list of all of these pieces of equipment in red.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, no,
I don't know.
Nancy.
if I saw that.
Well,
Okay.
because you printed it.
Yes.
I don't color.
Well, here it is.
Okay, and that was my confusion too, perhaps, Marilyn, that I printed it without noticing And so I didn't print it in color.
I
tend
did,
not
and I
to,
still didn't
so-
get color.
Okay.
Anyway, to
All right,
answer your
thank you.
question, Kate, one of my goals, I wasn't expecting Jenna to see this and have to respond on the
Right,
spot
right.
at all.
We don't want you to.
What I was expecting was, I mean, 4 of us met and talked about this, but that's not the entire council, and I think it takes more than the few minutes of time that we had to process and think about it at the last meeting. So I was hoping people would be able to take a look at it and it might trigger in their mind, oh yeah, and I wish I had asked that, and we'll add it. And that's what I was looking for out of this mostly. And I don't think we need to go through this line by line at all. Okay, good. If you've got questions, Jenna, just ask us, but,
Yeah,
but
and as long as
there's
the
sort of categories. One, the big one is stuff we'll learn about next month, and so we'll learn about that next month. That's okay. There are a
Sure.
lot of concerns about accessibility and universal design, I think, in it, and you'll see them. And I think it's just, and about things like having a companion with you in the room. Many people, you know, they might not need a lot of help, but they might have their son or daughter with them that gives them a little help, and with it, they can use the equipment. It's just different scenarios with the older folks that I think that didn't feel fully covered or anticipated is probably the better word. I didn't feel fully anticipated in the original. And I think a lot of the questions get to that. Or could you even, what did we hear?
I think,
You're getting multiple feeds?
sorry,
Chris is getting some Zoom.
sorry, my Zoom, I've been having a lot of Zoom issues.
Okay, so to the council as a whole, my question is, A, at the moment, does someone see something that they didn't think of they'd like to add?
What
Do
was
we?
the question I just asked?
Pardon?
No, as far as this, the draft feedback document. No, I think you did an excellent job
Okay.
summarizing it. I made a little bit more concise.
I know, you said you did.
Yeah.
I didn't
'Cause I'm
figure out
all-
where you did it,
I'm
but I
very
trust you.
concise.
We've worked on enough documents together.
So Jenna, so we had, Marilyn has actually compiled, feedback on all of the components, but I just didn't want to go through every single one. We'll go through maybe one a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so, oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's great. I did get a chance to skim through too as well. It all kind of looks pretty straightforward. The operating group is meeting next Tuesday, so I can give this to them right away too, and we can discuss it and you know, maybe not come up with answers right away, but
Right.
certainly within a good time frame so we can revisit all of these questions or concerns. And yeah, I look forward to seeing the next line of comments for the other policies as well. So, you know, if anyone wanted to get those to me in advance before the Council on Aging, I'm also happy to like look at them as well and share them with the group, or if you'd prefer to do it on a monthly basis and then I give it to the operating group, whatever you prefer.
That's a great question. I want to see what is I feel like the whole council should look at all of the feedback before we give it to you. I mean, it seems, you know, really great. Yeah, let's give it all to you, but I know that the whole council has not seen the other documents, so I'd rather that that's presented to the entire council. So maybe we can, yeah, thank you for your willingness to review everything.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you guys.
Jenna, you just used the phrase, and this has come up with a couple of us a couple of times. I think you just said the operating committee. Can you tell us exactly who is on the committee? Because we're not sure.
They
Who
came.
you think of as the committee? Well, who came was Jenna, Emily, and John, and I'm wondering, is that the committee or are there others?
Oh,
Yeah, so it's a working group. So
maybe that's
very
the phrase used.
actively it's Chris,
Yeah.
Jim, myself,
Yeah,
Emily, John, and Jane.
and Jane, okay. All right, thanks, because we sort of wondered what the group is, and that'll help us to know. Thanks.
I apologize, Kate. I thought they had all come.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But that's why it's been a little confusing to
So
some
Jim
of
and,
us.
it's Jim and Jane
Right,
in addition.
yeah, and one of the questions we had was whether or not, and I'm sorry, I apologize, I can't remember his name, the veteran services person was part of the group or not, that kind of stuff. That was some of the questions that some of us had as we talked about it. So this clarifies for us. who's
Yes,
part.
and Will is also very involved. he just can't be at these meetings. He has so many different appointments, but I keep him up to speed. He's in the office right next to me, so he's
And what we've
involved.
been, and just so you know, Jim hasn't been coming to COA and I don't go to rec.
Yeah.
So, and we present the same thing, so we, I present it to COA, Jim presents it to rec, but it's the same information.
Okay, great. All right, so I think we're good with the draft document discussion. Thank you, Jenna. The next item on the agenda is open discussion recap. I just had a thought, part of the segue gone. I turned my head.
Picking up on what Nancy tabled until we get to here.
That was
Okay.
one of the things. but,
Okay.
It's gone. So we've been starting the discussion. We want to, as a group, to just continue what you started. There has been a group that has been meeting on their own, not officially as part of COA, but I very much hear that some of the members on the COA would like to formalize a subcommittee to address some of the concerns. Because my concern is that things are happening outside of the COA and not under the auspices of the COA, and I want all the members of the COA to be aware. Like one of the things you mentioned was that 1,400 page document and the email. That didn't go to everybody. So not everybody, like, I don't think John got that email. So I want to make sure that we are involving the COA and then setting up a subcommittee if that is what is, if there, because there seems like there's interest, absolutely. And so we want to make sure that the points that you're bringing up, Nancy, are being addressed. Yes, I know, I know.
And if there is a subcommittee, there would just need to be formal agendas and meeting minutes. But if you do the working group platform that you have done in the past, that would maybe be a little bit better of an option, but whatever you
Yes.
prefer.
So working group is less formal.
It's not an open meeting.
It's not an
Yeah.
open meeting. We don't have to worry about
And-
anything like
And no
that.
quorum. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it would be, correct me if I'm wrong, it would be 4, 5 max voting members. I don't know about
Since
that
of
either.
the Monday night, I don't know about the charter. Yeah.
Someone should ask Jane, right? Is she the expert on this?
We could probably ask the town clerk.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a question about, because we are composed of 10 voting members
Yep.
and 5 associate members. And I'm not sure how I guess, Chris, I see that you're here. I don't know if you want to address this, but how did we get 5 associate members? You know,
Oh, it's in the note.
That's an interesting
Okay.
question about any of the committees is why the division.
Might want to take that
because-
offline.
Yeah.
We can only have up to 5.
It's in the note.
Okay, so okay, whatever, okay, that is a side discussion,
Yeah.
but it does impact when we make decisions.
Yes.
So I know that there is a group that do you want to continue to meet? And what do you see as your purpose?
Well, one thing is, I think, just like we did for this, when we hear next month's presentation, we'll have the same exercise again. We're gonna have random comments that need to get codified essentially, so that's something we talked a lot about, and things came to our minds as we did it. But also what you're talking about, Nancy.
Also, like, input into the permanent building committee, which I'm a rep on, so, making sure that that is done in a way that's above board. I, for example, don't want to be put in the position of just me responding and just me talking. But, 2 months.
Well, you're our rep.
But I'm no, and thank you, but I'm no expert in, plumbing or.
And I think that's what, we do have to, we can't micromanage too, because we don't know a lot about a lot of things. But I think what I hear repeatedly at every one of our meetings is our concerns are around universal design, dedicated space. What is everything, the operations, so Jenna will be hearing about that at next month's meeting when we meet with the Recreation Committee, which I'm really excited that they were meeting together. But we just want to make sure that the 60+ voice is heard and appreciated and considered in all of the decisions. And so that's why we keep bringing it up. And if there's, whatever we need to do to ensure that that happens. So, because Chris represents us as well. Nancy represents us. So that is a consistent theme for us. We feel it's our responsibility. We are the only organization in town working with, excuse me, Chris and you, that that is advocating for the 60+ community. So, and the other reality is the community residents voted for a community recap, Center for Active Living. They didn't vote for a senior center.
Wait, you're stating it wrong. They voted for a community center called or known as the senior, referred to as a senior center / recap.
Yes, but
You didn't say senior center.
no, I was saying it and then you interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah, anyone else want to add anything?
Well, I just wanted to say, you asked. I forget what you asked out here, but anyway, I would see the working group helping the larger group pull together the thoughts. So we talk here and then as Marilyn said, go through that, and say, okay, what were people's concerns? And maybe reach out in between to say, okay, have you thought about it a little more? Do you have anything else you want to say about that? And then we
Can't
can
do it.
can't
Open meeting, can't do
that,
it.
we can't do that. So we take what we hear in the meeting and we just put it into a format that makes sense to give it back
Right.
to Jenna, because it's hard otherwise for her to really also remember and respond to what we said.
So I do want to hear from the two Johns and the Ron, because, it's the same. What are your thoughts? Because we've all been thinking about these things. You're members of the COA. We want to make sure that your voices are heard as well. Is there anything you would like to add or perspective that you can bring to it that we are not considering? I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to make sure that you are heard.
Nothing particular right now.
Okay.
It's just trying to get a word in edgewise, that's all.
This is your opportunity, John.
Raise your hand, John.
We should have whistles.
Well, that's a long way, yeah. No.
Okay, so everybody feels like who wants to speak, feels like they have, good.
Yeah.
Great, okay, so we have a working group. The people who've been working behind the scenes, you want to continue to be officially recognized as the working group for,
And anybody else.
We could have more. We could,
Yeah.
well, we need to find out the rule, but in
Who's on the
theory,
current
yeah.
working group?
what?
Jean, Marilyn, and Nancy's on the.
And Kate,
For working, for
And
voting
Jean-
members.
Jean wants
She voting members current. Someone voting.
I'm not sure that makes a difference.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a difference when it comes to the working group. It needs to be less than a quorum for sure. Regardless if it's associates or voting members.
So it would be the total number?
It has to be
I mean,
5.
it could be 15. I mean, we have 15 total members. We have 10 voting members.
Yeah,
But then we have
if you-
5
yeah.
associates.
If you're gonna count associates sort of in the sense it falls with the quorum on the working group,
wouldn't it be the full group?
We should get an answer
Yeah,
we
from
need
town
it,
hall
yeah.
before
Because
we go there.
Yeah,
I think if we have less than 6, we're free no matter what.
right,
That's
right.
Yes.
But if anyone wanted to join, then
So
we have to get a
so
question.
Marilyn, you want to be part of it? That would be, because you have a background in construction, right? Or,
Well, finance, like I think.
Oh, we need you.
When the change orders come up and, you know, there's discussion about where they're coming from, the budget, I can help. That's there.
Great.
okay, great.
Yeah,
I just thought.
that's gonna, I need to mention change orders. Change
Right,
orders.
right, right.
That's another
Well, change
program.
orders,
We're not up to
again,
that yet.
that's another whole. So, okay, so we'll have this working group and it is composed of Marilyn, Kate, Nancy, Ron,
And
and
Jean.
Jean. That's 5.
Yep.
So any emails go through the
Just the
5
5
of you, can't even email me, or
Right.
just, I guess you can inform me, actually, I don't even know.
When you
We
find
can't
out the
make a
rules,
decision,
we can't vote on anything, which is
Right.
why it has to be less than a
Everything is-
quorum.
yes, okay, great. All right, so then you can report back to us in next week's meeting, next
Okay.
month's meeting. Okay, and that kind of leads into the open meeting law thing, because I just wanted to make sure about the perception of impropriety is enough. So there was an email that went out to 7 members. And so it didn't matter whether they were voting or not voting.
But see, we don't know the answer to that.
Well, no, I did talk to the point is, I agree with you, it's still unknown, but the point is, somebody on the outside could file an open meeting law complaint because they don't know who's voting an associate. And so it's that perception, and then the town has, and the state has to investigate it, which costs money.
Yeah, and I know, I'm the one who sent out the email, and the reason, well, it doesn't really matter, but, so I think it's up for further debate. I know that you have, had some, but personally, when I look at the rules and the law and the language, that was not a violation of the open meeting law.
But the point is, it could be the perception, and the other thing, even though we may disagree.
I'm not saying that it was maybe the right thing to do, but by what is written about the open meeting law, I did not break it.
Maybe we could.
I
do
don't think
something like
anybody
include
thinks
in
you
the
do,
email.
but
This
what
is
Karen's
why this
pointing
is
out
not
is
a
just the
violation.
perception of
This is
somebody.
someone can't give-
Just remember, she's using
Well,
the
I
word
think it's
perception.
gonna help that we have a recognized working. group.
Right,
Yes.
yeah,
I think that was part of the problem.
yeah,
We didn't have a recognized working group that could weigh in. And,
yeah,
you
okay.
know, yeah.
All right, so, and the other thing too is, I just wanted to bring that up to date for the members who might not have received that email, that there was something that went around, and so, because that's the other thing too, when people are left out of it.
Yeah.
So here's my question. So, because we talked about it tonight, can I then send all those documents to everybody on the board? Since
No.
Since I talked about them tonight, and I said that they're things that people, we need to.
Discuss it in the working group, the 5 of you.
No, but that gets back to your concern with perception.
What we used to do was send it to Jenna when she used to be our send out person, but now it would be Chris. And I never understood why this made it okay. I just was glad something did. If it came from Jenna, then it wasn't soliciting a group discussion. It was simply Jenna providing information. It was my understanding why that was okay.
Yes, and I would always blind copy people as well when I was sending out the information, so that way people wouldn't violate open meeting law by mistake and reply all.
Yeah.
So there's a whole open meeting law discussion that needs to happen. Because if you read the open meeting law, what you guys are doing and sending it out could also be done by one of us
Exactly.
and sending it out, and it doesn't violate an open meeting law, so.
Well, and I'm confused by something Jenna just
Perception
said.
is another issue, and I hear you, and
Yeah.
perceptions and.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Jenna, you said you would send stuff and you would BCC people. But if I still hit reply all,
you can't with a
It would still-
BCC. There's no reply all with a BCC. You don't, you,
If you can reply all,
I
you'll just be
use
replying. to
BCC
the
and
same-
That's a
emails
blind
and they
copy,
come-
yeah.
Yeah, and the person I BCC'd sees whatever I get back.
Are you using Word?
Well, if you had a BCC.
Right.
You would hit reply all, you would reply back to
the original
Not the
person that
Nobody on
sent you
the
the email.
distribution
Well,
list.
I'm
No
just
one
saying,
No one
I
else
know
will
it
see
works inside Gmail, they get my BCC.
Yeah, for an old historian here, the software changed. In the early days, BCC did not protect you. You didn't know who you were sending it to, but you were, just as you're experiencing, sending it to everyone. So if you've got old software, it could be still doing that. The new software doesn't, it just will do who you can see their names, but it has changed over the
Yeah, we
years.
never want to hit reply all, no matter what.
Well-
Unless it's an announcement of
Yeah.
who can come help.
Right, scheduling.
Yeah, for scheduling, who can come help at the library for the October meeting. I mean, that is different for scheduling, but anything that has to do with things that we will be discussing. So,
And if you see do not reply, listen to it. Don't do it.
well, that's why even today when I sent out, well, you sent out the minutes and I responded just to you. And then I BCC'd something. Oh, I BCC'd
The original.
the original Jenna documents on the fitness equipment room. I BCC'd them so that no one would accidentally respond. Yeah,
But again, to what Kate's saying, if she's got a different version of the software, it might.
that's
it
really
used to.
interesting. I don't know.
It used to. In the early days, that's what it did.
Okay, any other questions, thoughts? Are we in agreement? Are we all in this? Okay, okay, good. All right, future agenda items. I have one.
Yeah.
One of the things I realized after attending the town meeting was there are 3 ways to get rid of members. One of them is that we can, as a committee, so this is a future agenda item for next month. We as a committee can come up with a list that then gets sent to the appointing body, which is the select board. So I'm going to put that as an future agenda item for us.
Okay.
Okay, any other, so our next meeting, we have to come up, it's the second Monday in December, December 8th. It is going to be a joint meeting with Reading Rec.
It's the 8th or the 15th.
It's the eighth.
I'm confused also.
Oh, I thought, isn't it, what is, Jenna, what is it?
The joint meeting is the 15th, but I'm not sure
Oh.
if you guys are meeting on your own on the 8th.
That
Oh.
was my assumption, and then I got very confused.
Okay, yeah, so I messed up. Okay,
Well, do we just want to do the joint or do we need our own?
Yeah, I
should
thought
have
we
our
were
own.
just doing.
you want to have our
Having
own,
one on
and
our
the
own.
8th and the 15th?
Yeah.
Well, how much business can we conduct if we're in a joint meeting with the rec?
Well, I think the joint meeting is going to answer a lot of our questions.
But there could be other business, like such as, do we want to plan a January event?
Other business, as you just brought up.
Yeah, and the one you just
That
brought up.
is true. You caught me. All right, so do we want to meet on December 8th?
Sure.
Why not?
Okay, so can we agree that it's a short meeting?
Sure.
Shorter than this one?
All right, a short meeting on December 8th, and then we'll meet the following Monday, December 15th with the Reading Rec Committee. And where will that meeting be, Jenna?
I'm hoping the Pleasant Street Center. Chris, is that okay?
I think I have a schedule on check right now.
Can I just advocate for some heat? So
No.
did you just say?
Not now that we
No, I
have two
don't know.
meetings next month.
And what time is that meeting? What time is that meeting, Jenna?
6 o'clock.
6, okay.
Yeah, it is scheduled, starting at 6 here in the great room.
Okay.
So we'll meet here on the sixth, or will that be a town hall?
Here,
I mean,
Oh,
on the eighth, on the eighth.
I'm looking now.
Well,
That can be here.
okay. Any other, future agenda items that we want to discuss on the eighth? Can I suggest that we hold off on recal discussion on the eighth?
Unless it's related to building type issues
Okay.
With deadlines.
Yeah.
Cause that's their deadline.
Yeah,
Day.
I would be,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
but perhaps we could have a very organized
Yeah,
document.
okay,
So
okay.
it wouldn't be this free for all,
Yeah.
but it would just be,
Maybe the working group will report back. How about if
Yeah.
we do that?
yeah.
A brief report back from the working group. And then we'll do the remove members, we'll do the trust fund. We can discuss the community awareness, but we're also, Jen is also involved in
It's a
that.
trust fund issue. It's just asking for the money for it. But
Well, it's also,
it's both.
but it's also, what is the purpose? When is the best time?
Right.
Who's going to organize it?
We-
All of that.
We can do all that too. That's a separate item here, the detail.
Yeah. Do you want to discuss it December 8th?
We can try. We might not be ready.
I'm just so cold. I can't even think about.
That's because I had this meeting scheduled until 7:30.
Okay.
Next time I'm gonna open it up.
Maybe don't do that anymore, Chris.
All right.
Okay, that detail, but we can get the money squared away.
All right. Are we good?
I think we're good.
John?
Second.
I second it.
Okay, and roll call vote, Rosemary,
Yes.
John Szynski, Carolyn
Yes,
Chaplin,
yes.
John Parsons.
Yes.
Nancy Zimrat,
Yes.
Karen Janowski, yes. Thank you all.
Nancy at 7:50. Yeah, good time to enjoy it.